Hey, Tisa Burrs. Hey, what it do, what it do, ooh, what it do. So we gonna tap into this Candace Owens turning point. We're gonna talk a little bit about Diddy Witty. Diddy Witty don't want the truth coming out. This Netflix. Uh, so yeah, let's go ahead and hop in as the tea sippers come in. We gonna hit the baby. I got all type of little funny oneies about your president and his head game, Bill Clinton, all of that. I'm going down. He going down. Trump's going down. Woo! Yeah, but before we get off into that, I want us to touch bases on this. So, man, this Trump, they need to lay him down, set him down, along with Cash Patel. They need to sit down. Go sit down. Why this come up with a warlock? I said they are the devils, ain't they? Aren't they the devils? Y'all come on in. Let's talk about it. I want to start with the turning point. Yeah, because I remember.
I used PayPal to buy this ticket. I'm paying it off.
Oh, girl talked about them missing money. Oh boy, it's bringing it up. Let's start here, though. Let's start here. Let's go. Cut the volume. AunTeaFee, you gonna leave that right there with the men.
2 weeks ago, I posted a video about red flags at Turning Point USA. Among the many things I mentioned, Turning Point was missing 3 of the 4 990 forms for their shell companies.
Y'all remember that?
Well, guess what? The missing forms have mysteriously been posted, and they are marked that they were filed on May 15th, 2025. So they are claiming that they filed 4 forms, the IRS posted one, held on to the other 3, and for some reason posted them 6 months later when people started talking about it online.
Did.
Isn't that convenient? But we're not going to dwell on it, because the more important thing is that now we have the missing financials. And you're not going to believe this.
Hey, Dorothy.
It gets even worse.
Hey, Spit. It gets worse. Yay, you made it on time.
In the 990 forms, you can go to page 8, and each organization must list out their highest paid independent contractors. What is curious is that on the FY24 form for America's Turning Point, Tyler Boyer lists himself as an independent contractor, and he puts his personal home address. Now, I'm not
Tyler Boyer. That name came up a lot,
on the FY24 form for America's Turning Point, Tyler Boyer lists himself as an independent contractor, and he puts his personal home address. Now, I'm not doxing anyone here because it is public information on the IRS form. And I have to tell people, please do not go to Tyler Boyer's house. That is not appropriate. But I will say, if you go look up his residence on Google Maps, you will see that he lives in a massive mansion. Now, I'm not going to show his home out of respect, but you can go see it for yourself. It is mind-blowing. Where is Tyler Boyer getting all this money? But what is even more important is if you go to the other shell company, Turning Point Action, in FY 2024, their #1 independent contractor is a company called 110 LLC. In fact, this has been one of their largest contractors for the last 3 years. These are all the payments, and they total $1,456,261 over the last 3 years. That's almost $1.5 million. The description they provide is social.
We're going to see in a minute why she got that death threat.
Now, there is also an address for this company. So I thought, let's take a trip and go check this company out. If Turning Point is paying them $1.5 million, they must be doing something really great. I am on location in Queen Creek, Arizona. And if you don't know, Queen Creek is a suburb of Phoenix. So I'm at the address that was listed on the 990 form. And this is strange. This is a strip mall. So
It's a
I'm going to
what?
get out, I'm going to take a walk around and see if I can find the business.
strip mall?
110 LLC. Okay. I've walked past all the suites. I've checked all the doors. The business 110 LLC, as far as I can tell, is not here. What is going on? So Turning Point is putting on their IRS form that they are sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. Well, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. The business is not here as far as I can tell. What is going on?
Fraud.
I mean, maybe they didn't think that anyone was going to actually drive out here and check it out. But as far as I can tell, the business is not here. So my question is, do the Turning Point donors know this is how their money is being spent?
Nope.
That Turning Point is writing on their IRS forms that they're sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. I did some additional checking. Another thing that is strange is that there is no website for 110 LLC. How do you run a business without a website? That's pretty strange. And I thought, maybe they moved. Maybe there's a different location. But if you look it up on Google Maps, there is no location for 110 LLC.
Huh?
So there's no website, there's no location. Does this company actually exist?
Huh?
Well, we do have records that it is owned by someone named Jake Hoffman, who is actually the former communications director for Turning Point USA. He is now a Republican state senator in Arizona. Now, just to give you some context, Jake Hoffman is a really powerful person in Arizona.
Here we go.
Which may be why no one has talked about this before. In his financial disclosure statement, he lists that he is the owner of 110 LLC at the same address in Queen Creek. What is also curious is that on the financial disclosure form, he lists out 8 different businesses that are all operating out of that same strip mall.
And this is
But
still
what is even
Turning
more
Point?
strange is that on the financial disclosure form, he actually lists out the suite numbers. He claims that he is operating his business out of suites 105 to 503. Excuse me? That is every suite in the strip mall. How does that make sense? Is he operating out of the grocery store? Is he operating out of Panda Express? Is he operating his business out of the pet dental clinic?
Right here.
Now, if you watch my channel, you can tell that I'm a conservative. But I do not have a problem calling out a Republican if I see something that looks shady. And this is all allegedly. I don't know if anything illegal is happening for sure. Maybe there is an innocent explanation for all of this. I have never met Jake Hoffman, so I cannot speak to whether he's an ethical person or not. All I can speak to is what these people are writing in their financial forms. You have to admit that it looks pretty strange. It looks like Turning Point is sending $1.5 million to a parking lot to get picked up by a politician. If you remember, Baker Tilly is the accounting firm that did the annual financial audit.
Yes, I remember.
So they're the ones that signed off on Turning Point. They gave it a clean audit. They said there's no problems at Turning Point. Well, Baker Tilly, did you look at the largest contract? They're supposed to do an audit procedure to make sure that it's an actual company.
Not.
Well, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. I'm looking around, and I don't see a company called 110 LLC. So, Baker Tilly, I want to know the specific audit procedure that you did to ensure that this was a legitimate company and not an illegal payment to a politician. In a few weeks, Turning Point is hosting their biggest event of the year, America Fest. All of your favorite content creators will be showing up in Phoenix, Arizona to give speeches. I wonder if any of these people have a problem with Turning Point sending $1.5 million. Turning Point is hosting their biggest event of the year, America Fest. all of your favorite content creators will be showing up in
Fraud.
Phoenix, Arizona to give speeches.
Fraud.
I wonder if any of these people have a problem with
Fraud.
Turning Point sending $1.5 million
They
to
are
a parking
Zionists.
lot.
They don't believe in God.
Are any of them going to address in their speech
No.
any of the financial concerns at Turning Point? Patrick Bet David has one of the largest business podcasts in the world, and he has been a major contributor to AmericaFest. He is the business guy. Can he explain this to us?
Nope.
I would like to hear Patrick
He only wants
Bet
to talk
David
about
give us
Candace.
some kind of business scenario which explains why Turning Point would send $1.5 million to a parking lot.
Let's hear
Now, I've
this.
noticed a lot of comments suggesting that it is inappropriate for me to criticize the finances of Turning Point USA. Let me explain this for people who may not
Y'all
understand.
crazy.
Turning Point receives a
Turning
tax
Point is
subsidy.
not off limits.
That is what a 501c3 is. You are paying more in taxes so that Turning Point is tax exempt. And in general, this is a good thing because we want nonprofits out in the world doing good things. So we give them this tax benefit. But if Turning Point is not
Not graping kids and not hiring pedos who already have a history of taking advantage of kids, no. That is not what your tax dollars is for. And hopefully that is not what you signed up for, Officer Tatum. There's a lot of kooky stuff going on. Yeah. All you can do, good sir, is complain about Candace Owens. And now we want to hear what you got to say about this fraud. Are you a part of the frauding? Are you a part of the cover-up? I think all of you men, you non-God believing, devil worshiping, blood sucking, child sacrificing, cult followers, all of y'all who are against Candace exposing the truth, I think y'all all in one big happy booty tapping party of men who are sick in the head. And all you can do, yeah, you got that line right here too. You got that line right here too. Are you one of them cyborgs? What is it called? Reptilians. Thank you, Drew Harris. Are you one of them reptilians? Huh? Reptilians. Yeah, reptilians. I just saw that line right here. It looked like a pyramid right there. Yeah, you got a stamp on your photo right in between your eyes. Got it. Got it. Can you turn to the left? I see that line. Uh-huh. Do you see that top? There go that line. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Turning Point would send
He one
$1.5
of
million
them.
to a parking lot. Now, I've noticed a lot of comments suggesting that it is inappropriate for me to criticize the finances of Turning Point USA. Let me explain this for people who may not understand.
Hey, Purple Flower.
Turning Point receives a tax subsidy. That is what a 501c3
But
is.
y'all want to take everybody
You
else's
are
tax
paying more in
subsidy
taxes
away.
so that Turning Point is tax exempt. And in general, this is a good thing because we want nonprofits out in the world doing good things. So we give them this tax benefit.
You're one of them
But if Turning
reptilians.
Point is not doing good in the world, if they have problems in their financials, if their tax forms are missing, maybe they should not get tax-exempt status.
Absolutely.
The rich and powerful people who run Turning Point are raising hundreds of millions of dollars, and they don't have to pay tax on any of it because you watching this video are footing the bill.
Ain't that nothing?
So every American has the right to ask questions about Turning Point's financials. If you think they look shady, you
The
are absolutely
creator
justified in demanding
is
answers.
here.
Built is a loyalty
What you
program
mean,
for
Chris?
renters
What
that helps you turn
creator?
your monthly rent payments into flights, hotels, Lyft rides, Amazon.com.
What creator?
was the missing $8.6 million that was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. Now we have the finances so we can see how that money was spent. Now we have the finances so we can see how that money was spent. Just to recap, there are 4. The other thing I mentioned in my last video was the missing $8.6 million that was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. Now we have the finances.
Y'all
so
come
we can
in
see
hitting
how
the
that
like
money was
button.
spent. Just to recap, there are 4 shell companies.
Charlie, they turned
Turning
on
Point
you.
USA is the
Ooh,
main
you
one.
can't trust
Then we have
nobody,
Turning Point
can you?
Action, America's Turning Point, and Turning Point Endowment.
Y'all, I need for y'all to double tap the face of your screen. Get them likes up. It was 200 people in here. I only had 6 likes. Double tap the face of your phone and get the likes up. Or hit those 3 dots at the top right. Look at these. They're just stealing. Stealing their butt off. And they unalive Charlie because Charlie saw money going out. Well, that ain't the only reason. And money coming in, he didn't recognize where it was coming from.
That was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. Now we have the finances so we can see how that money was spent. Just to recap, there are 4 shell companies. Turning Point USA is the main one. Then we have Turning Point Action, America's Turning Point, and Turning Point Endowment. Just as a reminder, Tyler Boyer is the only paid executive listed for America's Turning Point. Charlie Kirk is not even listed. So
Wow.
It seems strange to me that in FY24, $8.6 million mysteriously got transferred out of the main company
Well,
into
we
the
know
shell
who the
company
big thief
managed
is.
by Tyler Boyer. When we look at how this money was actually spent, it went mainly to salaries. And in the last video, I mentioned the possibility of ghost employees.
Yep.
This is when an organization pays people,
That-
records it as salary expense, when those people do not actually work for the business. So I want to drill down into this idea further. Now, I have to admit that salary information can be notoriously hard to analyze because people are constantly coming and going from an organization. For instance, you could get a bunch of people hired in the last month of the year. Those kind of timing issues can cause strange fluctuations in your expenses, but you would expect the overall trends to make sense. You would expect the numbers to be within a certain range that is realistic. For America's Turning Point in FY24, we see that for the first time, they report 24 employees. This number is reported on a calendar year, and the expenses are reported on a fiscal year ending on 6/30. So let's stagger these out. If their 990 forms are correct, and they had 0 employees in calendar year 2022, that means that the entire salary expense for FY23 was related to the first 6 months of calendar year 2023. They spent $3.7 million in 6 months on salaries. In my opinion, these numbers are a bunch of baloney. The math does not work. Let's use the most favorable assumptions for America's Turning Point and assume that this expense was spread out across the largest number of employees. If we assume that 24 employees were hired on January 1st and worked for 6 months, that means that the average annual salary of those 24 employees was around $300,000. That's a lot of money. That is every employee at America's Turning Point. It could be the secretary. I would like to know what that secretary is doing that they get a salary of $300,000. I would like to ask the other employees at the other shell companies at Turning Point. Are you all making $300,000 a year? Because according to the financials, somebody is. Now, we don't know this for sure, these are just assumptions, but I am telling you that this is catching my eye as a red flag because these are astounding numbers for a nonprofit. $8.6 million mysteriously gets transferred into the shell company managed by Tyler Boyer, and it is spent on this massively inflated salary expense. Again, maybe there is some kind of innocent explanation for this, but at some point, we're going to need a lot of explanations. One of the board members for Turning Point is a guy named Tom Sedeka. Ironically, Tom Sedeka was the president and CEO of a payroll company. This is from a press release on the NASDAQ website. From 2003 to 2020, he ran Precision Payroll of America, where he turned that company into a leader in
Hey,
the complex,
Mimi.
highly regulated world of human resources and payroll processing. So let's ask the payroll guy. Tom Sedeka, do you see anything strange with these payroll numbers? Now, to understand the full picture, it's not just about where the money was going to, it's also where the money was coming from.
Yep.
When I was going through all the new financial information, I saw this chart, and immediately, I had a good idea of what was going on. This shows revenue going into Turning Point Action. And you can see a gigantic leap in revenues for FY24. It went from 10.7 million to 27.2 million. That is over a 150% increase in 1 year, an extraordinary achievement for a nonprofit. What is even more curious is when you put this chart side by side with Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA shows a 4% increase. Remember that Turning Point USA is the main organization with Charlie Kirk as president. Charlie Kirk works a lot less on Turning Point Action, and Tyler Boyer is the COO. Do you see what is happening? For some reason, in FY24, Turning Point got a ton of new donors. But these new donors went around Charlie Kirk and into the organization where Tyler Boyer was the COO. It's almost like they did not want Charlie Kirk to know about it. Now, we don't know who these mysterious new donors are, but it looks like someone was trying to take over Maga, and they were doing it behind Charlie Kirk's back. The timing of all of this is very important.
And the likes are too. Y'all better get them likes up. Double tap.
FY24 represents the 12th.
No, sir. 415 people in here. You better double tap. Only 16 likes, 22 minutes in. Please, please, please double tap. The face of your screen on your phone is free. It's just that simple. Nothing comes to me. Just double tap. Get the likes up. Like, share, subscribe, join the membership. Yeah, let's get the facts. Let's get a better understanding of what's going on and why it looks like Charlie Kirk had to be unalive. Why he had to be removed. Who had their hand in the money jar? Huh? Yeah, a whole lot of stealing going on. You understand? And he's affiliated and attached to Maga. Ain't that what he said? Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. It went 4% increase to 150% increase. Yeah, and he started saying, holla, holla, holla. Holla, holla, holla. We need to have a audit. Where the money at? Where the money at? Where the money coming from? Get the likes up. Get the likes up for me, baby. Get the likes up. Just double tap is free. I mean, if you want to send a super chat, a super sticker, use the little gift box down there, that works too. But do something. Do something other than ear hustling. Yeah, you want to come in and ear hustle. Get the likes up. Yeah. Yeah. You want to ear feel a fool. Yeah. Thank you, Samantha. Yeah. Yeah, bye. Get your ass up out of here. A moocher. Moocher. Yeah, you're a moocher. Ha. Yeah, get your mooching ass up out of here, Chris Miller. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. But Chris Miller is a moocher. Yeah, he wants something for free. Yeah, he can't even do it. He can't even do a like. And he called me greedy. Now you a moocher. I bet you your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your dog friend, your mama friend, and daddy friend, I bet you all of them pay your bills. Trifling ass. trifling ass. Let's go. Thank you. Let's go. But keep them up, because I'm going to stop again. I bet you one of Boyer's friends just stealing behind the scenes. You want to take all the tea sippers' tea and not show no support. Get your ass up out of here, Chris Miller. Yeah.
Tyler Boyer is the COO. Do you see what is happening?
Yeah, he's stealing.
For some reason, in FY24, Turning Point got a ton of new donors. But these new donors went around Charlie Kirk and into the organization where Tyler Boyer
Thank
was
you for the high
COO.
five.
It's almost like they did not want Charlie Kirk to know about it.
Absolutely.
Now, we don't know who these mysterious new donors are, but it looks like someone was trying to take over MAGA, and they were doing it behind Charlie Kirk's back. The timing of all of this is very important. FY24 represents the 12 months ending June 30th, 2024. Remember what was happening at this time.
We works the Giants.
This period lines up almost exactly with the Republican primary for the 2024 presidential election. January 15th, 2024, Trump wins the Iowa caucuses with 51% of the vote. Happening at this time. This period lines up almost exactly with the Republican primary for the 2024 presidential election. January 15th, 2024, Trump wins the Iowa caucuses with 51% of the vote. March 5th, 2024, on Super Tuesday, Trump wins 14 of 15 Republican contests. And on the following day...
So this is some Trump thievery. He did say Maga, didn't he? He did say Maga. Interesting. That's why Trump don't have nothing to say. Yeah. Yeah, that's why he been quiet.
Caucuses with 51% of the vote. March 5th, 2024, on Super Tuesday, Trump wins 14 of 15 Republican contests. And on the following day, Nikki Haley drops out of the race. May 30th, 2024, Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts in New York, and it did nothing to reduce his popularity. So in FY24, it was becoming obvious that Donald Trump was the frontrunner in the presidential race. When Nikki Haley dropped out, you had all these rich and powerful donors who no longer had any influence over the Republican Party. These donors had to come up with some new way to infiltrate MAGA. I think they went to Tyler Boyer. You also have to remember how busy Charlie Kirk was at this time. He was racing all over the country trying to get Donald Trump elected. So if someone at Turning Point was working behind his back to steal money from the company, this would have been a really easy time to do that. But the problem with stealing is you can only get away with it for so long. Along comes the FY24 financial audit. We know from the audit letter that it was concluded on June 20th, 2025, a few months before Charlie Kirk was murdered. If someone was trying to hide financial information from Charlie Kirk, they probably could have gotten away with it until June 2025. Because what happens at the end of an audit is you review all the financial information. So imagine this. A few months before Charlie Kirk's murder, he's sitting at his desk. He's looking at all the FY24 financials side by side, and he starts to notice some things that are funny. I think Charlie Kirk started asking questions, and I also believe this is what prompted the memo that he wrote. Working behind his back to steal money from the company, this would have been a really easy time to do that. But the problem with stealing is you can only get away with it for so long. Along comes the FY24 financial audit. We know from the audit letter that it was concluded on June 20th, 2025, a few months before Charlie Kirk was murdered. If someone was trying to hide financial information from Charlie Kirk, they probably could have gotten away with it until June 2025. Because what happens at the end of an audit is you review all the financial information. So imagine this. A few months before Charlie Kirk's murder, he's sitting at his desk. He's looking at all the FY24 financials side by side, and he starts to notice some things that are funny. I think Charlie Kirk started asking questions. And I also believe this is what prompted the memo that he wrote 8 days before he was murdered. In the memo, he appointed a new COO for Turning Point USA and requested a Doge-style audit. Now, for legal reasons, I have to say that I do not have any evidence of a crime. We would need an investigation of the books at Turning Point to know for sure. What I am saying is that there are red flags in the financials at Turning Point and a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Absolutely.
The Attorney General of Arizona is Chris Mays. She has jurisdiction over the situation. Chris Mays is most well known for trying to arrest the Trump electors in Arizona. That case fizzled out and did not go anywhere. But I have to wonder, is Chris Mays going to look into this? I am limited in what I can research because I don't have access to Turning Point's financials, but the Attorney General has the authority to go in, look at their books, and start throwing people in jail. She is responsible for looking after the people of Arizona. Does it bother her that we have a state senator that is allegedly lying on his financial disclosure statement? Is she concerned that Turning Point is writing on their IRS form that they are sending $1.5 million to a parking lot? If she does not look into this, I would be concerned that she is in on the scam. If you watch my channel, you know that I am a huge fan of Charlie Kirk, and it destroyed me when he was murdered. I want to remind you of a post that he made on X.com. He posted a video of James O'Keefe speaking at last year's America Fest. Charlie Kirk wanted us to hear these words.
Telling the truth in times of universal deceit is a revolutionary act. It's hard. It's difficult. Even as we enter this new era, it will be difficult. And that's why the people who do that, the few, the very few, are so inspirational to us because they do it at great personal cost. And in the beginning of a fight, a charge, the patriot is a brave but rare man. But when his cause succeeds, the timid then join him, for at that point it doesn't cost as much to do what he does. So in the beginning we have these brave people that act as a catalyst for everybody else.
Charlie Kirk wanted everyone to search for the truth.
Right, Specs.
If someone at Turning Point betrayed Charlie Kirk and is stealing money from the organization,
Hey, Jody.
we should find out who that is.
Absolutely.
And we should do it for Charlie Kirk. Now I want to hear from you.
Do it for Charlie Kirk. Do it. Do it. Do it for Charlie Kirk. Come on and do it. Do it. Do it for Charlie Kirk. Hello. Do it for Charlie. They made us stop what we was doing. Put our hand on our heart for the flag. All of that. Yeah. All along y'all stealing and dealing. Yeah. He said audit and they ass started running. Plotting and scheming. Yeah, man. Yeah, they can say what they want to say about Candace. Everybody need a friend like her. Oh, look at Granny. Oh, who had Granny with her? Granny? Did y'all see Granny? Granny? What they doing to the grannies? Lord, Lord, Lord. Did Charlie Kirk know any of this? Yeah. He was beginning to know. That's why he asked for that audit. Yeah. Yeah, the National Guard that got deleted. Nope, they didn't do no flags, no nothing, did they? No ceremony, no everybody crying. You get fired if you talk about him and all that crazy stuff. Hey, none of that happen, did it? None of that. None of it. Hold on. Hold your mule. Damn. So Turning Point turned on. Absolutely. Turning Point turned on Charlie. They wanted the money. They wanted the position. That fake ass preacher, the McCoys. Yeah, the boy stood right there. Mikey, he stood right there, watched everything. As soon as the shot went off, he turned with his phone to his ear and he left. And he left. And he left. Hold on, 10% battery. Okay, let me take care of that right now. Want it, dead or alive.
Who is a
Hold
DuPont.
on, let me get some juice before it go out. Y'all get the likes up. Get the likes up. Double tap while we shift gears. Let's hear what Candace had to say. Shout out to Candace. And after that, we'll talk about the Epstein stuff that's in the leaks. Yeah, that little girl. Maybe it was a little boy. Who knows? That was in Epstein house with Trump for hours. Yeah, one thing is for sure, it was not Virginia. It was not Virginia. And they saying they resurfacing their lawsuit that was against Trump and Epstein. And I showed y'all the picture last night
Buildings that
of Trump about to blow Bill Clinton. Oh man, what a picture. That was, oh my goodness. He was unzipping them pants. Y'all, come on, 275 people. 36 minutes in, only 56 likes. Get the likes up. Just double tap. It's free. Don't cost you a thing. It does not cost you a thing.
all right, you guys.
All right, you guys. Come on. Y'all ready for the tea? Show the one picture more than I missed that part. Show what? Show that one picture. One more time. I missed that. Which picture? FZ4988. Did you hit the like button? What picture you trying to get? Hey, Big L. Oh, that bubble pic. Ha ha! What's that picture? Oh my God. Oh, that one. Oh my God. I did a whole little lie. Not a lie. AunTeaFee will shut it down. Let's go get the likes up. While I go get that picture. While I go get that one. Did I send that to my, over here? Let's just see. I know I sharpened it up. Yeah, he was going down. He's going down. What? Trump's going down. Yes, indeed. He was trying to unzip them pants, baby. When I tell you, he was trying to. Oh, I know what it said. He was trying to unzip them pants. He said, "Bring that big piece of meat here." I gotta have it. I need it. He said, "I'm a warrior and I'm finna go head to toe with this pickle." He started growling, moaning and foaming at the mouth. "Bring that piece of meat here. This dang-a-lang belong to me. Lord, have mercy." Let's get to it. Where is that? Yeah, he said, "I'm finna do something good to you." And old Billy Bubba, he just sitting there, all lean back and comfortable, waiting to see if he can open his mouth as much as he can run his mouth. Where is it? Oh, where is it? where it, not the growl it. Oh yeah, yes indeed. Cause the girl said there was noises. The noises was valid. I said what? Authenticated. What noises? We want the noise. We want the give me that. I'm hungry, hungry, Jack. You gobble that down, and the plate comes back for Hungry Jack. Well, I'm trying to find it, y'all. Well, let me go to what I uploaded yesterday. I was trying to find the... Is that it? No. Y'all know I had to reboot. Oh, my God. My God. Where is it? Make it quick, please. Is that what Bill... No, Bill said, oh, no, don't give me no quickie. You been hounding me all this time. You better go to work. You better go to work. You better make this worth my while. Man, I'm trying to find it. Not that. Okay, I ain't gonna be able to find it quick. Let me go here. The picture is in my phone. Hold on, so I gotta go about it this way, y'all. I did a whole little clip. Now, I mean, if you ever want to find it, I'm gonna show y'all where to find it. I made a video of it, and I gave it a picture. I got the thumbnail is... Am I needing a reboot? Hold on. I gave it a whole thumbnail. Oh, absolutely. It got 52 minutes. Now, my alarm was going off, but it got a whole thumbnail. So you can go to the thumbnail, baby. I made a thumbnail. You understand? Y'all know AunTeaFee ain't no good. It got a whole thumbnail, baby. It got a whole thumbnail. So the thumbnail is crystal clear. You know, sometimes it have a blue tint, but the thumbnail is crystal clear. You can see Trump on his knees and Bill sitting here waiting to be served. Let's go to it. Y'all want to go to it for a minute? Woo! Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I was shocked to see her. I was very shocked to
Hold
see
on.
her.
Let me get past some of this screaming and hollering. Because we baby, my alarm was going off last night. Let's go here. Come on, stop playing. Stop playing. Yeah, bring it on up. Yeah, he was on his knees. He said, I get weak at the knees. See, it went blue. It had that blue cast. Yeah, I'm trying to find it at a good spot. Huh? I'm trying to find it at a good spot. No, I don't want that blue. Yeah, I don't want that blue cast. They trying to throw us off. That's why I was trying to go to the actual.
So what I think I'm gonna do, because this is going on longer.
Yeah, we was having a time last night.
I really want to run downstairs and see if the...
Yeah. Hold on. Let me... Dang it. I hate I didn't send it to my other phone. That picture. Yeah. There you go. But y'all can go to this live, and it says that you're going to have to mute it because my alarm was going off. It said Epstein files, leaked picture, President Trump on his knees sucking Bill Bubble, sucking Bill Clinton's pickle. His dang-a-lang, dang-a-lang, jang-a-lang, dang-a-lang. He the pappy, I'm the pappy. You the pappy, he the pappy. Yes, indeed. Oh, there we go. Ooh, wee. Ooh, ooh, wee. Oh, wee. Oh, wee. The thumbnail clear. Let me tell you something. That thumbnail, clear as day, baby. Clear as day. See, I made these little right here, mimicking. Yeah, him on his knees. Get down and suck Papa off. Yeah, yes, indeed, haunted. Yes, indeed. Let me see the original. Yeah. Yes, indeed, haunted. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Him was on his knees, about to please. Get the like up. He was on his knees, about to please. Oh, Big Bubba. Big Bubba, a Big Bubba. He trying to get, baby, when I tell you he was trying to get that belt off and them pants unbuttoned so he can plop that meat up on his desk. I mean, on his lap. Yeah. Yeah, he want the meat. Where the meat at? Where the meat at? Where the meat at? Where the meat at? And see, this is when they did that forensic to see if it was legit picture or not. And AI said it's real as real can get. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bill said, I ain't finna do no work. You finna make me give you all my icing. I'm finna unload this icing. 04. Yes, indeed. Let's get back to Candace, y'all. Let's get back to Candace. That's why when I make these little cartoon things, got them in chairs and stuff. Yeah, there you go. There go one. AunTeaFee. Oh, what? I was having a little fun today. Yeah. Put his ass on his knees. Look at him. Trying to get my likes up. Y'all better get their likes up. He breaking his fingertips trying to get that belt buckle undone so he can get that pickle, yeah, in his mouth. Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a picture of the forensics. Yes. Yep. Look at it. Is your legs crossed? You trying to get up in there. You look like you trying to run up in something. Woo, you better not put his legs up. You better not put his legs on your shoulder and have, boy, you look like you trying to go to work. FZ. You done got me all off track. Asking for me to show this, baby. I've been playing with these pictures. Yes, indeed. Hope Clinton had a huge one. They say he's well endowed. They say he's a brother. He was really, classified as a a black man. I mean, which they are. Yeah. And he has a black son that looks a lot like him. Yeah. And so he done tap that with a sister. He was motivated, getting after it. Yeah, he was hungry. He hungry. I'm just hungry. I feel like I need to put something in my mouth. I'm hungry. I heard that you have good icing. Yeah, that you got some good pickle juice. Yeah, and I'm trying to see what that pickle juice do. I know he mad. that these pictures and stuff is leaking. Oh yeah, it's leaking. It's leaking, all right. Yeah, and then you done turn on Charlie Kirk. You done turn on, and you know them people trying to unalive her cause she getting the tea and she getting the word out. Y'all was stealing and dealing. So, and they gonna show you sucking and fucking. Oh me, oh my. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So listen, I made it a point to have y'all. It is a video. Y'all go and find it. Y'all can have mercy. Yes, it's 50-something minutes. Now, again, you may want to mute it for a while because I was having technical difficulties with my alarm. It's 52 minutes. 52 minutes. It's titled Epstein Files Leak Picture. Pick President Trump on his knees sucking Bill Bubba Clinton's dick. And then I have hashtag Picklegate. Now, if y'all just, I'm sure, yeah, you will be able to find it. The thumbnail is crystal clear. And what if you want a picture? If you need to snap a picture, all you have to do is get it from the thumbnail. Oh, you know what I can do? I'ma post it. I'ma post it on my wall after this live. I'ma post the picture on my live. How about that? Y'all better get the likes up, or I'ma take it down. It has been verified. Okay? Okay? Picklegate. He's a head hunter. Yeah. Yeah, he ain't the head in charge. He a head hunter. Yeah. All them little nasty names y'all have for them freaky girls back in the day. That's your president. He a freakazoid. Uh-huh. Okay, nice guy. You will be apologizing soon too. What am I gonna be apologizing for? Apologizing cause your cult leader likes to give head to men. His first taste of the president. I will be whatever you say, man. Go play with your president. Play with his butt too. Yeah, put your thumbnail in there and yank it out real fast so he come unconstipated. Yeah, you have all that runny shit on your hands. Yeah, for your shitty ass president. Yeah. And since you came over here with that bull crap, playing with me, I don't know why you think you gonna play with me. Huh? Yeah, I'm finna do this right here. Since he thought he was gonna play with me, I'ma play with you. There it go right there. You play with me, I'ma play with you. That's the thumbnail right there. That's the thumbnail right there. Woo! Yeah, it's crystal clear. Yeah, and it was October 23rd, 04. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to where we were. Yeah, I don't know why they thought they was gonna play with me. Don't be mad at me because man, you chose. Well, hell, yeah, you probably got initiated too into the pickle gate. Yeah, it's a pickle thing. You know, we wouldn't understand. Ooh, it's a hit and her husband. Yeah. Okay, y'all ready to go back? Let's go back. Y'all get the likes up. I done entertained. You want me to take you off of him? You don't want no parts of that, Candace? No? You don't want no parts of it. Let's look at the face. Let's look at the face. Candace said, AunTeaFee. Hell no. Hell no. AunTeaFee. Hell no. Hell no. Take me, Fuck no. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for the hot cocoa. Hot cocoa. Candace like, get shitting out of him. Y'all on his knees, sucking and fucking. Oh, nasty ass. He probably didn't even brush his teeth or wash his face. Long live Dolph. Full justice for Dolph. Absolutely. Those two men, J.R. Benson, was Bill Clinton, Bubba, and Trump. In 2004, he was on his knees. Yeah, he got down on his knees, trying his best to get in Bubba's britches. He was trying to loosen that belt and trying to loosen them buttons. He said, bring that dang-a-lang here. I got something I want to do with this pickle. I'ma stroke it, and then I'ma stroke it. I'ma stroke it again, and stroke it again. And then I'ma put it way in the back of my mouth. Candace, fix your face. It's just Uncle Baba. Oh, no, Sir J. Benson, hit my super chat super sticker. You asking too many questions, Pumpkin. No, sir. No, sir. Super chat super sticker. Don't come over here asking for nothing. All questions from this point on for you go on a super chat or super sticker. Hell you think this is? Don't be mad at me because I got it. This is the Tea Palace. We get a lot of stuff before everybody else get it. But one thing is for sure. It has went to photo forensics. It has. AI has confirmed that it is not a copy. It is a legitimate picture. Yeah, so if you want where I get my tea from, yeah, you support the platform. Hit the super chat, super sticker. Support where I get the good tea from. Yes, sir. Sit back and or just enjoy the show. That's it. That's all. Let's go. They be wanting our tea sippers. You understand? We get the tea early. Absolutely. It's Picklegate, baby. It's Picklegate. Now, Jimmy Duncan, didn't I just delete a Duncan? Didn't I just remove a Duncan? Oh, that's a Benson. I didn't see no Duncan. My likes didn't get up, go up. Micah, y'all, Jesus, I'm back. Yeah, but my Jimmy Duncan, hello. But you need to double tap the face of your screen on your phone. Yeah, get the lights up, y'all. Get the lights up. Y'all just saw some tea. Okay, y'all just saw some tea. Obviously, that y'all didn't see. I done played it for 2 days. Okay, now I'm ready to hear Candace. Okay, because hell, I want to hear about the leaks, the new lawsuits for Trump with his lopsided. Yeah, let's just go. It's so much tea. Let's go.
Happy Tuesday.
Hey.
I'm going to ask you a question. It's actually a riddle that we're all familiar with.
Pearl and Picklegate.
Or the egg?
Absolutely.
That's what's on my mind really all day. Because yesterday, we were explaining to you guys this sort of random coincidence, maybe not a coincidence, of the FBI seemingly choosing to work in offices that are kind of being run by like French royalty, in essence, right? These old French American families. Now, why would our FBI do that? Surely they would have been aware that they were choosing to work in buildings that might potentially have some foreign interests. But then you know what? It clicked. The chicken came before the egg. Of course, don't be ridiculous. That's the answer to
Okay,
the riddle.
Jimmy.
LOL to the American history that's taught to us in the public schools. The French helped to establish the
Yeah, but before we go off in, I got 236 people. Double tap the face of your screen. I want to get this out the way. I want to get it out the way. I need to make sure that this goes into the algorithm. Double tap the face of the screen if you're on your phone listening in. And if you're on a computer, tablet, whatever, it's 3 dots at the top. It's 3 dots at the top. If you, where your comments are, hit them. Hit them 3 dots and get on over to the like button. So yeah. Cause they said now, when I'm thinking about now, I think the original came with sound, because when they were validating it, they said the sound. That's why I said he was moaning and groaning. Where's the sound? We want the sound. We want the sound. Say we want the sound. We want the sound. We want the sound. We want the sound. Yeah. We want the sound. Let's go, y'all. We want the sound. Okay, let's go. We got get the lights up, y'all. Let's go.
All right, you guys. Happy Tuesday. I'm going to ask you a question.
Lord.
It's actually a riddle that we're all familiar with. What came first, the chicken or the egg? That's what's on my mind.
Yeah, I don't like it being off. Let's go out and come back in. I don't like it being off. I hate when they do that. I can't stand it, but sometimes we gotta go with it.
Vamos.
Ellos cuentan con nosotros. Nosotros contamos contigo. Por favor, dona ahora.
Oh, Lord.
Body of a Las Vegas prostitute was found stuffed in the air conditioner of a CD.
Oh, wow.
If you haven't heard about OCHA yet,
Lord.
these long-lasting, affordable fragrances that don't break the bank. They smell so similar to luxury.
That are kind of being run by like French royalty in essence, right? These old French American families. Now, why would our FBI do that? Surely they would have been aware that they were choosing to work in buildings that might potentially have some foreign interests. But then you know what? It clicked. The chicken came before the egg. Of course, don't be ridiculous. That's the answer to the riddle. LOL to the American history that's taught to us in the public schools. The French helped to establish the United States. They came over and they helped us win our big independence from the big bad Brits. And then what? They just left us alone. It was just an act of charity. Like, we're good. We want nothing in return. We just want you guys to be free. Does that make sense to you? Come on. Turns out, actually, and you may have known this, maybe I'm just American ignorant, but our FBI was founded by the French. In theory, the FBI really is in France's building over in Wilmington, if you think about it, for a long time. And I have been thinking about this for a long time. So welcome back to Candace. Episode, because we ran that poll wondering whether or not the public agreed with me about my lawsuit, me being filed by Brigitte Macron, me being sued by Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, and whether or not it was just one big federal setup meant to bankrupt me. And here is an answer that we got in the comment section. Look at this. I believe that the purpose of Macron's lawsuit was that it was supposed to go nowhere because Candace was supposed to have been assassinated before the case got to court. Then they could forever claim that Candace was lying, which is evidenced by the fact that they were suing her for quote-unquote defamation before someone had killed her. This was their plan, but I pray that it has now been foiled. I had never considered that, and that hit really deeply, and that is a dark thought. And I think now I'm wondering, I have a lot of questions. Everything feels different in this post-Charlie Kirk world. Where to begin? How about we should talk about the founding of America? Because, man, those Catholic priests that I was telling you about, they were unbelievably correct. I told you guys a long time ago how when I was considering whether or not I should be Orthodox or Catholic, but I knew that I was sort of done with Protestantism, I had been taking instruction from these priests in Europe and in the UK, and one of the fathers is a real bookworm, right? Kind of this cantankerous Englishman, no time for the American education system whatsoever. And he said to me quite famously, "You Americans know nothing of your own history. Your country was founded by Freemasons." And that just kind of permanently now echoes in my ear, because boy, was he right. A war that had been sort of waging across Europe for centuries had then spilled into America. It was largely a spiritual war. It was really a theological war. That's what I'm starting to realize. That's why America never really had an appetite for Orthodox or Catholicism, because the Catholics and the Orthodox have kept history. They know what was going on in Europe, not the fake history that's packaged and sold to Americans. They know what the Freemasons were up to. Freemasons who caused all of those revolutions against really the Christian empire across Europe. The idea really, I now think, is keep Americans fat and dumb and drugged and propagandized, right? And then when we need to, use their men to mass murder other Christians overseas. That's the big picture that I'm beginning to see. All of this to say, did you know that our FBI was founded by Charles Joseph Bonaparte? I had no idea. I hate to be American ignorant, but I had no idea. And yes, that man was the founder. And yes, that is like Napoleon Bonaparte. His grandfather, Charles's grandfather, was Napoleon Bonaparte's brother. Was his great uncle. Napoleon Bonaparte was his great uncle, which makes it kind of hilarious, right? Because our tip yesterday from that person in Wilmington, Delaware, was asserting that the FBI had these offices, these kind of hidden offices, maybe kind of in buildings that appear to be in part controlled by French-American families who might have some conflicted interests. Particularly, we were discussing the DuPont family, right? Mentioning the DuPont family led to a flurry of tips coming out of Delaware. It was incredible. People in Wilmington saying, they own kind of everything, like everything, hospitals, schools, buildings, you name it, it is theirs. And then we received some more tips from people who were invested in sort of the urban legends of the DuPont family. They were telling us, hey, I went to school with DuPonts, like there's a lot of stories there. And these stories sound a lot like what you were covering in your Becoming Brigitte series. You remember, actually, right before we had been sort of interrupted in Becoming Brigitte series 2, season 2, we were speaking about Eric Dupont Moretti, and we were speaking about how he was kind of known, made a name for himself, making an argument for happy incest, yeah? People were telling us, like, hey, this DuPont family, there's a lot going on there, and they've also maybe been involved in some murders. Again, this was DuPont folklore, if you will. But then more emails came in, and you know what? It's not entirely folklore, okay? It's really just not. This is actually an article that appeared in Vanity Fair, so let's read it together. And I'm going to issue a trigger warning right at the top because it is disturbing. Today's episode in general, I should say, is not for the faint of heart. Here's the headline. DuPont heir gets no prison time for raping 3-year-old daughter. Okay, and the person who emailed this over said, this has actually kind of lived in me for over a decade because I was so disturbed by the story, and you should read this. And it tells us that Robert Richards IV was in 2009 convicted of raping his 3-year-old daughter 7 years after she, who was just 5, told relatives that she didn't want her father to be touching her anymore. Then it says, in an alarming twist, the judge who sentenced the heir to the DuPont fortune let him off with no jail time, arguing that the 6'4" Richards will not fare well in prison. That was the argument that the lawyer made, and the courts in Delaware found that to be valid. So instead of sentencing him for prison for raping a toddler, it goes on and tells us that Judge Jan Jordan ruled that Richards would benefit from treatment instead. Critics have since noted that such treatment is usually offered only to drug addicts or those in possession of child pornography, not convicted rapists, and the details of the case became public this month when Richards' ex-wife sued him for damages related to the abuse of their daughter. Here is how the News Journal describes the convicted rapist in this case, quote, Richards, who is unemployed and supported by a trust fund, owns a 5,800 square foot mansion in Greenville that he bought for $1.8 million in 2005. He also lists a home in the exclusive North Shores neighborhood near Rehoboth Beach, according to the state's sex abuse registry. Tells us that his great-grandfather is the DuPont family patriarch, Irénée DuPont, and his father is Robert H. Richards, a retired partner in the Richards Layton and Finger law firm. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Hey, Candace, is that the law firm that's filing the paperwork for you? And the answer to that is yes. And I did not know that, no, until literally yesterday, because Richards didn't sound to me like DuPont, so I had not put two and two together as I was doing this episode talking about the DuPont family. I hadn't realized that the people that are filing paperwork for me, or rather the founder of that firm, the founding partner of that firm, who's since retired, is DuPont. It's the DuPont family. So it makes sense because, as the people in Delaware are telling us, everything is DuPont. The Vanity Fair article continues. The heir to the DuPont chemical fortune, and to be clear, that is what they specialize in, chemicals that are used in war, we're going to get more into that later, also admitted to sexually assaulting his infant son. He was initially charged with 2 counts of second-degree child rape, which would have carried a mandatory 20-year prison term if convicted. Richards, again accused of raping 2 of his own children, was instead released on a $60,000 bail and eventually copped a plea deal that involved him admitting that he had abused his children but received that lesser charge of 4th-degree rape. Okay. Now, the article goes on to tell us that this is hardly the first time that the DuPont family has found itself the focus of unsavory headlines. John DuPont shot Olympic wrestler David Schultz dead in the driveway of the family's mansion in 1996. 2 years later, the decomposing body of a Las Vegas prostitute was found stuffed in the air conditioner of a seedy motel. She was killed by 3 hired hands. As Dominic Dunn reported in Vanity Fair, the money traced back to the DuPont family. It appeared that Lisa Dean, who is a DuPont, didn't approve of her drug-addicted son dating a drug-addicted Vegas sex worker, so she and her husband, Christopher Mosley, had her killed. Both John DuPont and Mosley died in prison. Okay, great, cool. France in the story. We've got an alleged murder for hire. I guess not an alleged murder. It's not alleged. It's just murder for hire. We've got incest. We've got Jeffrey Epstein's ties to France. I'm just kind of noticing a theme here, if you will. A theme here that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Because you should be feeling uncomfortable, especially if you're me, okay, and you find out, really, by the grace of God, that there was this plot to murder me, okay? I'm just not liking all of this coincidence. It's starting to feel like a conspiracy, if I'm being honest with you. And we should get back to our map now because it's getting a little squishy in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm feeling claustrophobic in Wilmington, Delaware, and I've never even been there.
We were planning our anniversary trip. Someone tried to open a loan in my name in a state I've never even been to before.
Retirement is just around the corner. I don't have time to deal with identity theft. Fortunately for me, LifeLock caught it fast.
Identity thieves work hard, but LifeLock works harder. Monitor.
Okay, so here's our block. We've got a couple of blocks.
I'm gonna have to go back a little bit. I had to
we've got
step
this
away.
FBI suite in this building that's actually owned by the Wilmington Trust.
I'll back it up, so let's go.
Instead. Critics have since noted that such treatment is usually offered only to drug addicts or those in possession of child pornography, not convicted rapists, and the details of the case became public this month when Richard's ex-wife sued him for damages related to the abuse of their daughter. Here is how the News Journal describes the convicted rapist in this case, quote, Richards, who is unemployed and supported by a trust fund, owns a 5,800 square foot mansion in Greenville that he bought for $1.8 million in 2005. He also lists a home in the exclusive North Shores neighborhood near Rehoboth Beach, according to the state's sex abuse registry. Tells us that his great-grandfather is the DuPont family patriarch, Irénée DuPont, and his father is Robert H. Richards, a retired partner in the Richards, Layton, and Finger law firm. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Hey, Candace, is that the law firm that's filing the paperwork for you? And the answer to that is yes. And I did not know that, no, until literally yesterday.
Oh,
because
wow.
Richards didn't sound to me like DuPont, so I had not put two and two together as I was doing this episode talking about the DuPont family. I hadn't realized that the people that are filing paperwork for me, or rather the founder of that firm, the founding partner of that firm, who's since retired, is DuPont. It's the DuPont family. So it makes sense because, as the people in Delaware are telling us, everything is DuPont. The Vanity Fair article continues. The heir to the DuPont chemical fortune, and to be clear, that is what they specialize in, chemicals that are used in war. We're going to get more into that later.
Wow.
Also admitted to sexually assaulting his infant son.
Infant!
He was initially charged.
How do you mess with an infant son? And an infant son. Wow, what in the frackle-knackle bull shit is going on? An infant son. Your child. Oh my God.
With 2 counts of second-degree child rape, which would have carried a mandatory 20-year prison term if convicted. Richards, again accused of raping 2 of his own children, was instead released on a $60,000 bail and eventually copped a plea deal that involved him admitting that he had abused his children but received that lesser charge of 4th-degree rape. Okay?
Wow.
Now, the article goes on to tell us that this is hardly the first time that the DuPont family has found itself the focus of unsavory headlines. John DuPont shot Olympic wrestler David Schultz dead in the driveway of the family's mansion in 1996. 2 years later, the decomposing body of a Las Vegas prostitute was found stuffed in the air conditioner of a seedy motel. She was killed by 3 hired hands. As Dominic Dunn reported in Vanity Fair, the money traced back to the DuPont family. It appeared that Lisa Dean, who is a DuPont, didn't approve of her drug-addicted son dating a drug-addicted Vegas sex worker, so she and her husband, Christopher Mosley, had her killed.
Wow.
Both John DuPont and Mosley died in prison.
Oh my God.
Okay, great, cool. France in the story. We've got an alleged murder for hire. I guess not an alleged murder. It's not alleged. It's just murder for hire. We've got incest. We've got Jeffrey Epstein's ties to France. I'm just kind of noticing a theme here,
I did not listen, y'all. Didn't I tell y'all that this stuff it felt very fucking familiar, and then it became the feel and the texture of it was so familiar. It was like, okay, so what do we know about Jeffrey Epstein's past? Who is his people? Who is his mama? Brother, we know his brother, but who is his people? Where he come from? just like he got dropped into the CIA, just like that Macron guy. All of this stuff sounds very familiar. There is a pattern. Wow.
Epstein's ties to France. I'm just kind of noticing a theme here, if you will. A theme here that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Because you should be feeling uncomfortable.
I'm very
Especially if you're me, okay, and you find out, really, by the grace of God, that there was this plot to murder me.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm just not liking all of this coincidence. It's starting to feel like a conspiracy, if I'm being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we should get back to our map now because it's getting a little squishy in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm feeling claustrophobic in Wilmington, Delaware, and I've never even been there, okay? So here's our block. We've got a couple of blocks here, and we told you yesterday we've got this FBI suite in this building that's actually owned by the Wilmington Trust at 500 Delaware Avenue. We've got Brigitte Lawyers at 919 North Market Street. Also in that building happens to be Stacey Sheridan's registered agent. That's Stacey Sheridan of Turning Point USA. We're going to talk about her in a second. We've got the Wilmington Trust actual location, which is at 1100 North Market. We told you about this crane, this red crane at 1100 North King Street, and that's Bracebridge Complex, which is supposed to house Insight headquarters, and they've got a French CEO. It's just a lot happening here. And again, now having a registered agent in Delaware isn't, you have an LLC, you're supposed to have a registered agent, and people tend to choose between Wyoming and Delaware, sometimes Las Vegas to form their own corporations. But wow, what are the chances that Stacey Sheridan has a registered agent that's in that building too? Because I have LLCs, and I've got LLCs in Delaware, and I'm not even in Wilmington. There's a lot to choose from. It's a whole state. But Stacey Sheridan's registered agent is there too. People had noted, by the way, that she had a few LLCs which she was getting paid through. It could all be above board. I don't really know. But the one I'm speaking about is Cloverstone Ventures. Stacey, by the way, is the Senior Advancement Director at Turning Point USA. She was brought in specifically by Tyler Boyer to raise money and to take Turning Point to the next level. And regarding Tyler Boyer, now we could say maybe a couple of
that same Tyler Boyer, y'all.
But actually, Donald Trump.
That same Boyer that was stealing. That same Tyler Boyer. Let's go. Thank you, the lazy girl.
USA. She was brought in specifically by Tyler Boyer to raise money and to take Turning Point to the next level. And regarding Tyler,
and listen, the next level was not supposed to be to their bank. The next level was not supposed to be to their bank. Corgi, thank you, the doggy, dog. And they, you know what? The lazy girl, they are dogs. They stealing dogs. They not atomic. They stealing dogs. Yeah, heist.
It could all be above board. I don't really know, but the
it
one
ain't
I'm speaking
above board.
Is Cloverstone Ventures. Stacey, by the way, is the Senior Advancement Director at Turning Point USA. She was brought in specifically by Tyler Boyer to raise money and to take Turning Point to the next level.
Raise money? Oh, she raised it all right. We just saw she raised it. It went up 150%. Charlie Kirk raised it to 4%. It's his business. And they came in backdooring Tyler Kirk and raised it 150%. And when he noticed the paperwork and the numbers were numbering, and where's his money coming from? Where is it going? He said, yeah, we need an audit. And they took him out.
Regarding Tyler Boyer, now we could say maybe a couple of weeks ago that he's a criminal.
Thank you, Hot Chocolate
Actually,
Latte.
Donald Trump pardoned him. He pardoned Tyler Boyer a couple of weeks ago, so we can't. That's actually not real. He's been pardoned. But he is always up to no good. I can tell you that. And he brings in this Stacey Sheridan. I got to tell you, I did not like her at all. Just the vibe was off. I did not like her, and I expressed that to Charlie to his face when she was hired. That's when I kind of notoriously said to him, you can't go down this path with money, okay? because people that want to raise money and you're bringing people over with the incentive of just wanting a lot of money, you can run into trouble that way. Which is why I didn't feel great about the fact that she was so involved after Charlie's assassination. Stacey Sheridan is the one that was filming. Everyone was like, who's filming his casket as it's being escorted off of Air Force Two, crying, holding, that's Stacey. Like I said, I just felt spiritually that Charlie hiring her was a mistake. She didn't pass my vibe check. Suddenly she's everywhere. She's eulogizing Charlie Kirk on stage. She is capturing intimate photos of his casket. She's then at the White House shedding tears over this fake holiday that's been created, when I just want to solve actually who did this. And the whole thing was making my skin crawl, if I'm being honest. Her involvement specifically made my skin crawl, and I want to say that openly and honestly, okay? But she's there. And she's there in this squishy block. In this one block, we are all just chilling in Wilmington, right? And we would have never gotten to this block, by the way, had it not been for
who got the Nest Super
Egyptian
sticker?
Planes, us simply tracking these Egyptian planes, and
Support
somebody
the
giving us a tip
platform.
like, hey,
Like,
kind of
share,
weird that it's flying
subscribe.
through Wilmington, and we go, aha, lights on. And here we are, right? We learn about this French and Israeli Ace Partners being the second largest shareholder of Satis. They decide to lease out this hangar. We learn that that requires federal approval because it sits on federal airways. And maybe that means it requires French approval. Who knows? Who knows?
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first. What?
I don't know anything at this point except everything stinks to high heaven. And so I start asking myself, what do we all have in common? Why are we all just chilling in Delaware? That's what I'm trying to ascertain. What are we all doing over here near King Street? Who is the king? Right? Do we have some shared interest that I haven't seen through yet? And now would be the appropriate time for us to get back into that timeline, because there is an important question that we forgot to ask. So let's jump into our timeline, beginning with the inflection point, which was that Tucker Carlson speech. Now, I want to say this, on that July 11th, when Tucker Carlson gave that speech, I did, and I hope I'm not betraying anything too private here, but I asked Tucker about that speech. It's like, what inspired you? I went back and watched it, and he's going hard, and he's talking about where's all this money coming from, and you know, is this even a meritocracy? Like, why are people that are not impressive billionaires? What's happening in this country? I asked Tucker, what me?
Y'all, please get the likes up. Double tap the face of your screen. It's real simple. Just like that. Don't cost a thing. It don't cost a thing. Just a double tap. Come on. Double tap the face of your screen. I'm an hour and 28 minutes in. If you not on your phone, then hit the three dots. It's up at the top right corners, three dots. Hit those dots for me. Hit the like button. Come on. It don't cost a thing. It's free. For the three dots. Come on, keep the likes coming.
Did you say that? And he said, I had no plan to say it. It just came out of my mouth. It just like it was just inspired. It just came out of my mouth when I hit the stage. There was no plan. You know, is this even a meritocracy? Like, why are people that are not impressive billionaires? What's happening in this country? I asked Tucker, what made you say that? And he said, I had no plan to say it. It just came out of my mouth. It just like it was just inspired. It just came out of my mouth when I hit the stage. There was no plan. Charlie said goes Max, and that is what Tucker riffs. And I do think that was a part of, there was something spiritual that moved him to say that. I will say that. Anyway, so that's July 11th. Tucker Carlson speaks at Turning Point USA's conference, and the donors freak out. Calls out Jeffrey Epstein. He says that people who serve in foreign armies should be stripped of their citizenship. He muses about Bill Ackman's wealth and where it comes from. We are told, even though we have not been able to confirm this with a shred of evidence, that it was 7 days later that the request came from to Turning Point USA from UVU's chapter, for Charlie to have this event. That's very late in the day already, but again, we see no proof of this. We do know that right after that, our Egyptian yellow plane flies to Lincoln, Nebraska, and 2 days later, it is announced in Nebraska that they're going to be doing a trade and investment trip with Egypt. There was some private off-record meeting that took place to make this come to fruition, and there were international professionals that were there per the media. But who were these professionals that met with Secretary of State Bob Evnen? Why is this meeting somehow off record? And when people, and they have done that, have requested information, they say, oh, there's nothing that's public that we can share with you. Thank you to, by the way, the citizens of Nebraska who did that. I received your emails even if I was not able to respond. Anyways, then it departs Nebraska, our yellow planes, and it heads to Wilmington, and then it goes back to Cairo. We then know that in this same time frame-ish is when Charlie vacations up to Maine for a couple of weeks to be with his family, goes off radar. We've got Mikey McCoy and his wife, Eliza, that join them for the first time they're doing this joint family vacation, and Mikey's capturing these last videos that are going to warm our hearts about Charlie. And he's like amazing. That's just how he is. And on July 25th, Charlie speaks in Westchester, New York. At the end of July, this is a new little update for you. YRefi comes in as the #1 sponsor of the Charlie Kirk Fall Tour. So this is end of July, early August. And I'm wondering why they did that then, because that's pretty late in the day. Remember, this was something they freaked out about when I said, hey, this is not how Turning Point events are come together. They're not instant, actually. In the history of me speaking on college campuses and having headlined these tours, they are planning them at least a semester ahead. And then it was like mass panic. I got like Lila Rose and Ali Stuckey, who have never headlined their tour, suddenly saying, that's not true, that's not true. What are you talking about? And I'm talking about I worked there, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was a weird thing to debunk. And I'm wondering, why was this put together so late in the day? And I am musing here, but I'm wondering if YRefi, after Charlie lost millions of dollars, said, hey, you can make that up by going on tour. You know, like we are willing to do this. And maybe Charlie actually wasn't planning on going on tour at all. And this tour actually came together very quickly. I'm musing on that. I'm not introducing that as a fact. I'm introducing that as a question. Anyways, back to our timeline. YRefi is going big, and they are going to be the main sponsor of this fall tour. And that's how that came together. Then we know that in very early August, Turning Point was scouting that location and that event, and they specifically requested for Charlie to be in that amphitheater. Now, apparently Charlie had done, according to some insiders, had loved the event that he had done in an amphitheater environment in Nashville. But I don't know if he said, I only want to do that going forward. But I do know that Turning Point USA insisted upon that. The person that was orchestrating that event, Macy Crofts, was saying, look, this is what Charlie wants, and that could be true. August 2nd is when we have our French Legionnaires arriving in America for a 3-week training session in California, which is going to end on the 25th. And then a couple of days later, we have that Hamptons retreat, which Charlie Kirk himself described as an intervention, as an Israel intervention. And influencers who were there said that he was being pressed on his shifting viewpoints on Israel. And we know that the influencers were paid for by Bill Ackman, but I don't think that that's particularly a big deal. Obviously, he has interests and was potentially coming on as a donor for Turning Point USA. We have what I do think is a big deal, which is Bibi Netanyahu calling Charlie and offering to take Turning Point to the next level. And that, my friends, is the billion-dollar question, maybe the trillion-dollar question. In exchange for what?
When you
In
invest in
exchange
yourself,
for what?
the results are transformative. With 84% of funds outperforming their peers.
Have we considered that? This man is fighting like a 20-front war, and he calls Charlie Kirk and asks, you know, do you want to come to Israel? We can take Turning Point to the next level. In exchange for what and through who? Because I'm going to guess that Bibi Netanyahu is not just going to write a check signed by Bibi Netanyahu and just do that as an act of charity. In exchange for what? What's he going to take Turning Point to a next level? This is something that nobody has denied took place. No one has denied that this took place. And Charlie declined. Charlie declined that offer. So what that signals to me is that Charlie then had information about maybe how they move money, right, without registering for FARA. I don't know. I think that's a big question that needs to be asked. Let's keep going onto this timeline. Charlie says no,
Wow.
and almost immediately, 10 days later, we got our next point is that our planes come back out, and they're flying to Lincoln again. They're going to Omaha. They're going to Wilmington. They stay for one night. Charlie speaks in South Carolina. We have our yellow planes then returning on the 24th, again, always through Wilmington to Egypt. We then have our French Legionnaires have completed their training, and on August 24th, 27th, Operation Valhalla takes place between civilians and military men in Minnesota at Camp Ripley. Then we have the first public sign that went out on August 27th. August 27th, that is so late in the day to begin promoting an event. TPUSA, UVU, and a local BYU chapter share a graphic announcing that Charlie is coming to UVU, but there are no location details mentioned on that graphic, so still not full details, but at least the first announcement goes out. On the 29th, we have Operation Bright Star, which commences, that joint operation that we told you about, which is biennial between Egypt and the United States military and other countries that are coming together, and it is being reported that it is going to run through to September 10th. On September 2nd, Charlie sends out the email asking for a Doge audit of his company, and he announces that Justin Strife is going to be the new COO, taking over for Tyler Boyer, who was the COO. And then we have the first known public going out in local media that Charlie's coming to town and that it is going to take place in the courtyard. That's on September 2nd, okay? On September 4th, our planes come in, and we know what happens next. Charlie is in Korea for a couple of days. He comes back on September 10th, and he gets assassinated. And that also happens to be the same day that that Operation Bright Star, that Cairo joint operation, formally ends. Okay, so that timeline...
Lights up, please.
...line makes me uncomfortable, okay? It makes me very uncomfortable, and I'm wondering if Charlie put together the Doge account, and I want to be clear, this part is speculation, because something that he maybe learned when Bibi asked to take it to the next level made him think, maybe I should look through Turning Point's finances, like where is this money coming in from and where is it going? And I don't know that for a fact, but I think it's a fair question, a fair investigative question, is what inspired Charlie to suddenly be concerned about not just where the money was going, but where the money was coming from. Was an offer made to him that he declined? Yes. What was that offer for in exchange? And so Charlie died with his soul intact. Dying with his soul intact. He said no. He said no to a lot of money. But it was actually a tip that I received early on that pulled everything together for me in a really dark way. It was water cooler talk at Turning Point USA immediately after Charlie's assassination. A few people had signified and were speculating and thinking about things that were weird. And, you know, I told you we had so many people from Turning Point USA that were just venting in our tip box and telling us that they didn't like the way management was acting and things were weird, and there were just a flurry of things that were coming in. And a few of them had signified that one of the things that was being whispered about that people thought was quite odd that they learned that happened on the day of Charlie's assassination was a rumor pertaining to Justin Strife. An oddly placed phone call that he made almost immediately, as they say. This is alleged. It wasn't on the phone call after Charlie was shot. And I will say allegedly because there's 6 people at Turning Point USA who have said this, that were talking about this. This rumor got passed around. They said that Justin had placed an immediate call to a donor prospect. And I said, that's weird, okay? I'd like to know more about that. Can everybody try to figure out what donor that was? Now, it's possible it could have just been a very close donor friend. Charlie had them. He did. There were some donors that he loved like family members. And so that was a potential long shot thing, but just interesting. I'd like to know who he was so close to that required an immediate call.
Own a vacation rental? If it's not listed on Booking.com, it's invisible to millions of travelers on our platform. Don't let your vacation rental be invisible. Get seen, get booked. On Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
We're gonna get into it. It's called Rush. Let's do it, boys.
Then it turns out that these ladies told me that this donor actually had a pretty big piece of bait on the hook for Turning Point USA. A piece of their billion-dollar company. They were anticipating some IPO, and that this was going to be life-changing money, okay? We're not talking like, oh, a check that's going to be reeled in for $5 million or $10 million or $50 million or like the $90 million that Turning Point USA raised in the first couple of weeks following Charlie's assassination. We are talking like billionaire money, potentially billions of dollars, and this was a very big secret, a huge secret. Just a handful of people were allowed to even know about this, that this was happening. In fact, there's probably people that are watching this right now at Turning Point USA who work in donations, I think it's a pretty large department, that have no idea, have never even heard of this, because that's how incredibly top-level secret this was, okay? But people began to find out about this because of just an unfortunate conversation that had been left unattended to, okay? Now, why was the secret supposed to be so guarded? Why is this person getting a phone call? I wanted to know. I wanted to know more. And I start messaging our mommy sleuths and our daddy sleuths and all of my sources at Turning Point USA, and I'm saying anything that you can tell me about this in case this might be important. And I got an answer on the name of a donor, and I had completely forgotten because, again, this happened so early following the assassination. I am talking before I even went to Wyoming. My brain was still traumatized. I had so much information that I was trying to process while I was grieving that I literally forgot the big part that I learned about this donor. I forgot. And these young women told me that this donor was French American, and that this donor's name was Pierre. And it wasn't until yesterday, after we went off air, that I presented to you all of the stuff about the DuPont family, that it clicked, and these ladies messaged me and said, oh, you figured it out. It's Pierre DuPont. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. I had mentioned Pierre DuPont on yesterday's show, and this took my breath away. I will be honest, I cried really hard yesterday, thinking, my goodness, how could I have forgotten that this donor was French-American, that was the big thing. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out that time, because I hadn't even considered France's involvement in anything. Like, who do I know that's French and has tons of money and is involved in technologies and could possibly be working on a big check that could be kept secret because it's about to IPO and billions are on the line, and it all kind of came together. And I would like an answer about this Pierre, the billionaire French-American donor, and I would like a clean answer as to whether or not it is Mr. Pierre DuPont. Yeah. because this would be a devastatingly dark story. And my sources are very sure that this is what was on the line, that this was life-changing money. And they are very sure that this individual got a phone call after the assassination. And I think that we deserve to know. I don't think this should be a secret, right? Charities shouldn't be a secret. Why? And by the way, it leads to more questions like, how could you say that you knew that your IPO was going to lead to billions of dollars? How could you promise that? How could you promise that? And did Charlie know? Did Charlie know? And I'm going to be honest with you, I know a lot of billionaires, they don't part with their money like that. They don't part with their money and offer people pieces of their company, people that aren't even their family members. So why was that offer on the table? I have so many questions, and I'm going to ask them publicly. And I think that we demand answers. We should all be demanding answers, because this is now starting to feel very, very dark. It's too French, right? It's just too French. We just can't all be hanging out in Delaware. And there's one more thing that came in regarding Andrew Colvett. Very close family friend of Andrew Colvett had messaged me early on, and I, again, was not tracking any of this at the time, but they had said that they felt that Andrew Colvett was acting weird, and I'm sure that's not a big deal. I think we were all acting weird. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, but moreover, they had mentioned that specifically Andrew had told them that my brain was still traumatized. I had so much information that I was trying to process while I was grieving that I literally forgot the big part that I learned about this donor. I forgot. And these young women told me that this donor was French American, and that this donor's name was Pierre. And it wasn't until you know about this that this was happening. In fact, there's probably people that are watching this right now at Turning Point USA who work in donations. I think it's a pretty large department that have no idea, have never even heard of this, because that's how incredibly top level secret this was. Okay, but people began to find out about this because of just an unfortunate conversation that had been left unattended to. Okay. Now, why was the secret supposed to be so guarded? Why is this person getting a phone call? I wanted to know. I wanted to know more. And I start messaging our mommy sleuths and our daddy sleuths and all of my sources at Turning Point USA, and I'm saying anything that you can tell me about this in case this might be important. And I got an answer on the name of a donor, and I had completely forgotten because, again, this happened so early following the assassination. I am talking before I even went to Wyoming. My brain was still traumatized. I had so much information that I was trying to process while I was grieving that I literally forgot the big part that I learned about this donor. I forgot. And these young women told me that this donor was French American, and that this donor's name was Pierre. It wasn't until yesterday, after we went off air, that I presented to you all of the stuff about the DuPont family, that it clicked. And these ladies messaged me and said, "Oh, you figured it out.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Pierre DuPont. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point."
Oh, wow.
I had mentioned Pierre DuPont on yesterday's show, and this took my breath away. I will be honest, I cried really hard yesterday, thinking,
Bless our heart, Lord.
My goodness, how could I have forgotten that this donor...
I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. So I'm going to be the one to put you on O2 fragrances. They're long-lasting, super...
It's French American, that was the big thing, and I was racking my brain trying to figure out that time, because I hadn't even considered France's involvement in anything. Like, who do I know that's French and has tons of money and is involved in technologies and could possibly be working on a big check that could be kept secret because it's about to IPO and billions are on the line, and it all kind of came together. And I would like an answer about this Pierre the billionaire French-American donor, and I would like a clean
Pierre.
answer as to whether or not it is Mr. Pierre DuPont. Because this would be
She
a
dropped her name?
devastatingly dark story. And my sources are very sure that this is what was on the line, that this was life-changing money. And they are very sure that this individual got a phone call after the assassination. And I think that we deserve to know. I don't think this should be a secret, right? Charities shouldn't be a secret. Why? And by the way, it leads to more questions like, how could you say that you knew that your IPO was going to lead to billions of dollars? How could you promise that? How could you promise that? And did Charlie know? Did Charlie know? And I'm going to be honest with you, I know a lot of billionaires, they don't part with their money like that. They don't part with their money and offer people pieces of their company, people that aren't even their family members. So why was that offer on the table? I have so many questions, and I'm going to ask them publicly. And I think that we demand answers. We should all be demanding answers, because this is now starting to feel very, very dark. It's too French, right? It's just too French. We just can't all be hanging out in Delaware. And there's one more thing that came in regarding Andrew Colvett. Very close family friend of Andrew Colvett had messaged me early on, and I, again, was not tracking any of this at the time, but they had said that they felt that Andrew Colvett was acting weird, and I'm sure that's not a big deal. I think we were all acting weird. Charlie Kirk was assassinated, but moreover, they had mentioned that specifically Andrew had told them that when Charlie said no to Bibi, he lost out on millions. Now I'm going to say allegedly because this is a tip, but I have that tip in writing. I'm not lying to you. And I thought to myself, that is so weird. How could the spokesperson at Turning Point USA be on the, how could they be gaining millions from that? What is the structure here of these contracts that even people that are in PR, people that are like running PR departments, are getting tips on the basis of donations? I don't know how this is working, but we need to figure out how this is working. I think it's really important that we learn the truth about what happened. Who's Pierre? Is it Pierre DuPont? And has Turning Point been paid? Obviously, it wouldn't be on this year's taxes. They're not going to find those on this year's taxes, but they would be on next year's. But we can ask now, and I'm asking
yes,
now.
we can. Excuse me.
And there's more
There's
I want to
more.
share, but we're going to take a brief break for sponsors.
Oh, Lord.
I'll ask the question, what are you guys doing today to protect your tomorrow? Because it seems like waiting until later, 30% off site-wide. So to get the Egyptian plane, Candace. There is such a thing as a good Fed, believe it or not. There are good guys. There are good guys everywhere. You know, lightness is always fighting darkness. And I received an interesting tip from a Fed that I'm going to share with you now that might be relevant.
I
The
know,
Turning
I
Point
hear
USA
you,
put in a personal
Mika.
request to try to get the Egyptian plane story killed, you know, and I find that to be very interesting. What is it about these Egyptian planes that Turning Point USA didn't want them to be discussed? I don't know. But I am going to find out. I think we kind of have found out in a weird, really effed up way, actually. It makes my stomach turn. I'm going to miss Charlie. I really am going to miss Charlie. And I think when Charlie was assassinated, there was something about it. I knew that this story was going to be dark. Instantly, I knew that Charlie was betrayed. They laughed at me. Oh, you had a dream. Charlie told you he was, yeah, Charlie told me that he was betrayed. And I think part of the mourning was the grief that I was experiencing was in large part due to my understanding that this was going to be missional for me. I think I knew deep down that this was going to be missional, and I kind of knew deep down that the whole world was going to be against me, or I guess the whole dark apparatus was going to be against me, not the world. There are so many good people in the world that are the reason that I'm doing this, and who understood instantly and felt instantly what I felt when this all happened. And I think it's sad because I was just reflecting on, I guess, really the last part of my youth. being ignorant and thinking that we lived in a country that was free and was fair and was a meritocracy, the excitement of me and Charlie in politics. Like, we were young bucks thinking that we were going to change the world because the MAGA movement offered us this opportunity to do it, right? We are going to get Trump elected, and we're going to get people to stop talking about racism and sexism and to understand, like, family is a priority. And I realize now, and I know Charlie realizes now, that we did not see the evil that was around us. And I'm going to miss that youth. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to miss that young experience. I'm going to miss Charlie going on dates and the girls they liked, and me always being the wing woman, and him asking. This text message is one of my favorite text messages between me and Charlie when he was getting ready to go on a date. And, you know, he didn't date many people. And he was just kind of
she need to listen.
In love with this girl.
I understand what you're saying. The Egyptian thing may be, you know, could be more dangerous, but I hope she gets it out. And I'm saying that because Trump has allowed them the opportunity to build a hub, Air Force base in Idaho. Is it Idaho? Yeah. And just like the French have a hub in Delaware. I mean, so get it out, because it made no sense that 1 minute he's calling them a terrorist and killers, and then you are allowing them on U.S. soil to build an Air Force. Yeah, now we know the CIA is, then the Air Force base is way they move. They stay minor kids, drugs, guns, and gold. So expose it all. You can't leave one if they're all tied in together. Yeah. So if you're gonna take that chance, take that chance. And while I'm speaking, I need for y'all to double tap the face of your phone. I'm going on 2 hours, and I need the likes up. I need the support up. I need for you to like, share, and become a tea sipper. Join the membership. Get involved. Don't just be an ear hustler. Double tap the face of your phone. If you're not using your phone to listen in, use the 3 dots at the top right, and hit the 3 dots and hit the thumbs up. I need the likes to go up before I start up again. And if in 2 minutes, if the lights are not up, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thank you for the membership, Leanne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, you sent. Hold on, wait a minute. You did what the other day, Nico? I sent 118. Oh, so you sent a membership. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Double tap. Get the likes up, y'all. Come on. I'm going on 1:58. If I get to 2 minutes and the likes are not up, I'm going to go ahead and just end it. Come on. Thank you. And received a... Oh, Fee, about the facts. I got the... My other page got the membership. Yeah, I saw that name. You Fee, about the facts. Got the free membership. Thank you so very much. I saw the name. I'm like, what is Fee? Thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. Big L said, get the likes up. Well, yay. Yay. Whoo, come on. Get the likes up. I'm almost at 2 minutes. 2 hours. Yeah, I shouldn't have to do this. But I don't want to be on here bringing this type of tea. And I have more tea to bring. Get the likes up. If not, yeah, I'm going to see it floating around, and I'm going to be gone. I'm going to bounce.
He's asking me, should I wear this? And this is the text message. It's so sweet. He said, do I have to change this shirt? And I wrote back, yes. And throw it away if you can. Charlie. And he writes, okay. And he's wearing a Turning Point early shirt that somebody, I think, gave to him. He's stitched on. Is it stitched on? Is it ironed on, I don't know, but I was like, Charlie, burn it. Obviously, burn that shirt. And it makes me, it's the stuff that makes me cry and makes me sad because he just was so young. You know, Charlie was so young and he was such a good person.
And
And
his own
I'm
people
also going to
turned on
miss
him.
the young conversations that you have when you're vibing with someone and you're speaking about things that you don't understand as you were coming up in politics. I always felt like an alien. We would have these discussions with donors and we'd have discussions with
Yeah,
people or
keep it
people would do
moving.
stuff
Yeah.
and I would just tell them all the time, Charlie, I'm an alien. I am new on this planet. I don't understand this. I don't understand double speak and, you know, contracts and people threatening to sue. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm an alien. And Charlie always said he felt like he was a time traveler. And this is a conversation I would say, I'm an alien. I just messaged him from across the room. And he said, I think I'm a time traveler. This is my home. He felt like Earth was his planet, but I think you found me and time traveled with me. Like the kind of friendship where you can talk about being a time traveler and feeling like an alien, as I've always felt like it, because I don't get it. I don't get the rules of this planet. I don't get the betrayal, the backstabbing, the people that dance for money. It's never made sense to me. From the time I was a kid, I just felt out of place. And I am out of place in politics. I will tell you that, because this is what it's all about, right? Selling your soul to the devil. And I don't want to do that. Anyways, that's just going a long way of me saying that I'm going to miss the ignorance of our political youth, thinking that it could be fair, thinking that we could just work hard, thinking that we could run a company, that we could launch this revolution where people were going to be happy in the future because America was the land of the free. I had to mourn that. Now I realized, and as I have expressed, that this is missional.
Big
Charlie
betrayal.
knew he was going to die young, but there was more that were in those now seemingly prophetic text messages that I was unwilling to share at that time. But I am going to share that now. When he was speaking about his death and the visions that he was having in April of 2018, he also said some other things. He didn't just say that he was going to die. He didn't just say that turning point was going to be the death of him, but he also wrote this. This is in April, on April 13th. He wrote this. He wrote, "Ish like tonight is what I have foreseen. This won't result in anything. I'll give you the context in a moment. But in our lifetime, we will experience real war beyond anything that we can fathom. Absolute and total destruction." Now, for historical reference, what was going on that week involved.
Your job is demanding, so choose a partner who delivers more. At Murphy Tractor and Equipment, we provide
Of course, France, right? America, France, Israel, the Middle East, Syria, Russia. And this is the Syria before Israel and the United States overthrew Assad. What was going on was the United States and France were carrying out a series of military strikes involving an aircraft and these ship-based missiles against multiple government sites in Syria. And the official reason that we were told was because the Syrian government had apparently chemically gassed their own citizens, something which Assad had strenuously denied. In effect, if Assad was telling the truth, and I believe he was, because I think there's a war on Christians that's happening, then the West and the United States were implicated in part by a false flag attack to justify a larger military justification. That's kind of something the West does a lot, right? False flag attack, get the media going, we have to respond, and then we just sort of take land. Yeah, that's what we do. Now, France had said in a statement on that morning on April 14th that France's red line had been crossed. So this was a story which Charlie said, this is not the thing that's coming, but this is a preview of the thing that's coming. Missiles, false flag attacks, chemicals, and the Middle East, America, France, and Israel. It is something. It is something, right? This was the vibe of something that Charlie felt was going to happen in the future. Something Charlie and I used to always say, I told you that, the rest is future. I think we are in the rest right now. We are approaching that future right now. And I didn't feel it then in 2018, but I feel it now. I've been telling you guys, I have been having a lot of dreams. And the dread that Charlie felt in 2018, I have been feeling. I felt it leading up to Charlie's assassination. I pulled my children out of school. I was having this dreams and visions about bees and organization that was happening in America. I have a sense of dread that a lot of these events that are happening, these inexplicable events like the Malibu fires, sort of coastal events,
On
the
purpose.
Texas floods, that this is not happening by
purpose.
accident.
On
Okay,
purpose.
I have a feeling of a sense of dread that the Fed is taking from Americans right now, and that we are heading
Stealing.
toward war.
Yeah,
Okay? I'm
absolutely.
going to share that. I feel that we are headed toward war, that they want war by any means necessary, and that you need to be, wherever you are in the world, fully dialed into that. Okay? We can't be stupid this time. We cannot believe what the media is telling us. We cannot
Right.
believe what the government are telling us. We cannot believe whatever it is, whatever attack that's going to happen, and we're going to be told that it was this guy. We have to start to recognize the pattern of things, okay? The predictive model of this is my red line, then the red line gets crossed and people are denying it. And what happens? Christians are mass slaughtered every single time.
Yeah, it's an attack
people,
on Christians.
in the East to hate Christians in the West. And there's just less of us by the end of it. And these things tend to happen, world wars, when they want a reason.
Absolutely an attack on Christians. Absolutely. I totally agree. This is why Bibi Netanyahu has this mission, campaign to turn Christians into Zionists by way of the mega churches. And every time we turn around a mega church, a church is having some things going on, some graping of minors, kids, young kids. Before it's over, I'm gonna show y'all another preacher got caught. A couple of them. Let's go.
The predictive model of this is my red line, then the red line gets crossed and people are denying it. And what happens? Christians are mass slaughtered every single time. Propagandized. Christians in
Putin
the East,
is back in Nigeria.
in the West, and there's just less of us by the end of it. And these things tend to happen, world wars, when they want a reset, because people start waking up. And so I just wanted to express that to you, that I feel that we are reaching that brink right now. And
that's why Trump
you
said
need to prepare for that.
Christians.
It feels like an almost inevitability because
We
wars are
need
planned
you to
in
vote
boardrooms,
Christians.
Okay, in boardrooms, they're going to send you
I'm
and
not
your
Christian.
children and your sons, but they are not going to fight. And I don't love a scenario right now that's happening where we have envoys being sent to Russia and Israel and everybody's meeting all this. It feels like something's coming. And I know that you probably sense that dread too. Turning our attention to Turning Point. Did you know, I learned this from one of our sleuths, that Turning Point might potentially now be becoming a real estate empire. Apparently, Tyler Boyer has a younger brother who for 10 years has worked in dental sales until Charlie died, because a unique opportunity presented itself at Turning Point USA, where Tyler had begun telling people that TPUSA plans to roll out a program to build houses for first-time home buyers. They're going to use Turning Point USA's position and audience to market this idea of new homes. And the marketing pitch is that Charlie preached to young Christians about how school and universities was a waste of time, and that it was a waste of money, and that they should get married early, and they should start their lives, and they should have kids. But he never really taught them how or what they should do next. So they are planning to leverage Turning Point USA's position with young Christians as a captive audience to build and sell houses
through them.
Okay, that's what the person told me, and I checked that out. They presented some proof of that conversation happening, and I think that's interesting. I think we should share that. And I'm sure that that's probably what Charlie wrote. He apparently had a 15, 20-year plan, according to Frank Turek. Or was it Rob McCoy? Rob McCoy said that, I think. I think they all said it, honestly, but Rob McCoy did say that. He kept this in his notebooks, and so a real estate empire could be on the brink for Turning Point USA.
Yep, I heard that.
Amazing. That really is
by Vance.
Something. Anyways, you guys, we are going to take another break for our sponsors, and
Vice President
then I will get
Vance.
into some of your comments. Collection notices and foreclosure notices in the mail That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock so that you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promotion below.
Gifts for
Big
the
old
outdoors
hustle.
and the outdoorsy. Eddie Bauer.
So what's going to happen now? Threats, lawsuits, lawyers, bankruptcy. This is how it works, right? When you wake up to the scam of everything, when you start telling the truth, when you say, I'm not going to become a part of the scam, when you say no, I'd rather die with my soul intact. Yeah, it's like there's only one way out of this matrix, two ways out. We're going to destroy you, or we're going to kill you. That's it. So look forward to some lawsuit being drummed up, because I have the audacity to tell the truth about what happened to my friend. And you need real friends in this world. You actually need real friends that are going to stand up when everyone is lying about everything about what happened to you on that day. And we've discovered more, by the way, but you know, it's only Tuesday.
I want a friend. I want friends like Candace.
We'll give you more. We'll give you more tomorrow. Anyways, you guys, to get to some housekeeping, some great news. My book, Make Him a Sandwich, is not just available on the Make Him a Sandwich website, which is makehimasandwich.com, but now it is available on Amazon. So you can get that. You can go to Amazon.com and you can now get that delivered directly to you. I think, by the way, George put a note that says that it's not in stock. It's not true. It just means Amazon hasn't received our shipment yet, so it is in stock. And you can buy that today. I'm really excited about that. It's a really good book, and it gets into the history of feminism, and it's quite a personal book also, and kind of my own journey with feminism.
Awesome. Go get your book. Before I forget, let's look at this. Before I forget. Before I forget. Did I label them? Oh, I did have the pictures. I did have the picture over here. Hold on. For who only wanted a clear picture. There go the date. There was the clear picture of Trump about to attack Bubba's pickle. I did have it over there. I did have it. Hold on, let me get you what I was trying to get to. Oh, yeah, here go one.
Bro, and I'm gonna record because I don't know people was doing. Remember? So, can we have an easy conversation about this, bro? And I'm gonna record because I'm in your car, right? And I don't know if you got weapons in here. No, I don't. So, brother, why are you here trying to meet
Pastor?
My brother. Actually, I was hoping and praying that it was somebody else.
Hoping and praying. Oh, no. Hold on.
See, you
guys, hoping and praying.
Forgetting sometimes. So, can we have an easy conversation about this, bro? And I'm gonna record because I'm in your car, right? And I don't know if you got weapons in here. No, I don't. So, brother, why are you here trying to meet my brother? Actually, I was hoping and praying that it was somebody older. I was, really? Yeah, please. I mean, because I was looking at his phone, dude, and a lot of the messages didn't seem like you were really trying to hope that he was older. Yeah, I was definitely trying to hope that he was older. Okay, so let me ask you, but I saw you send him a message on Thanksgiving talking about you wanted to come eat him up. Well, that's because that's what he was saying he was into. Well, he said he was going to eat that day because it was Thanksgiving. You know, that's what I'm saying, but I thought he was older. I mean, because based off the app, right? Right. But he told you
I
something
forget
different.
about the pastor who
But I
got
thought,
caught.
again, I wasn't thinking that nobody was 16 or no ass like that. Because again,
16.
we all say we different ages and things like that, right. Stuff like that. I mean, well, you didn't say you was different age. No, actually, on my tripping if I'm 16. No, I know you took me more 16. You're obviously talking once he thought sex. And then if you notice, a couple of times, he's like, I don't think you're real. I'm like, okay, with this. You telling me?
A whole pastor.
So, can we have an easy conversation about this, bro? Yeah. And I'm gonna record because I'm in your car, right. And I don't know if you got weapons in here. No, I don't. So, brother, why are you? And I know.
A whole pastor. Hold on, I got another one.
The women, the clothes, the drugs.
A whole pastor.
Thinking that these people are here to make sure that you're good, that you live long, prosperous life. And wrong, try again. Always remember, once a rabbi.
A rabbi.
Levi. Yeah. How's it going? Okay. You got cash?
Yeah.
I need to talk to you for a second.
A rabbi.
What's going on, dude? What are we doing here?
What am I doing? I'm shopping. My wife needs some rice.
Hey, what are you shopping for?
Some rice.
Some rice?
Okay. Rice.
Okay. So, you want to be honest with me? I just want you to be honest because if you try to hide it from me, then that makes me feel like you're a threat.
Not a threat. I'm
a rabbi.
Well, I mean, you're 64 and you're coming to meet a 14-year-old for sexual purposes, right?
That's pretty good,
yeah. And you're a teacher, too, around kids, right?
A whole teacher.
So when you teach kids, do you make advances on them? So then why did you decide today, I'm going to go meet a 14-year-old for sex?
Because it sounded like he was very interested.
So that makes it okay?
And no, it doesn't make it okay, and I really felt very bad to do it, and whatever. Just unfortunately, one just doesn't think with their brain, but thinks
with what?
With their appendages.
Kathy.
Make out and touch and play with the 14-year-old? That's what you wanted to do?
Kathy.
I was trying to feel him out.
Kathy. What are you, Kathy? What are you talking about? You an Oreo too. She's not misguided. What does misguided have to do with an Oreo? Everybody black. Everybody on earth is black. But why does she have to be misguided? Because her husband is white. What do you mean? Everybody is black. What are you talking about? Are you in support of predators? I understand, Pearl. I'm trying to understand why this Kathy Smith fell up in here on some prejudice bull crap. On some racist bull crap. So why she have to be an Oreo? What does her bringing the facts have to do with her being an Oreo? What makes her misguided when she bringing the facts? You sound like you black and dumb. You sound like you black and dumb. What makes her misguided? Somebody brings you the facts and you find fault in it. So are you okay with letting somebody play with your kids? Dumbass Kathy. Dumb black ass Kathy. Are you okay with that? Are you one of them mamas who pimp their own kids and sell them to the next person that's gonna pay their bills to act like they up in some extra class bougie and all that stupid type of shit. Get your dumb black ass up out of here. Yeah, dumb and black. Yeah, I said it. You misguided. Belt to ass. Spec, you knew when I started calling that name. We couldn't even enjoy the rabbi getting busted because Kathy thought she was going to slide in here on some racist shit. Belt to ass. Yeah, she needed a treatment. Yeah. Dumbass. I want to hear the rabbi.
Always the a rabbi. Excuse me. Levi.
Yeah.
Levi.
How's it going?
Okay.
Levi Cash?
Yeah.
Can I need to talk with you for a second.
Okay.
What's going on, dude? What are we doing here?
What am I doing? I'm shopping. My wife needs some rice.
What are you
A
shopping for?
teacher.
Some rice.
Some rice?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you want to be honest with me? I just want you to be honest because if you try to hide it from me, then that makes me feel like you're a threat.
No. Not a threat. I'm a
Well, I
You
mean,
was
you're
gonna
64
take
and you're coming with
advantage of
14-year-old
a
for sexual
14-year-old
purposes, right?
That's pretty bad, yeah.
boy.
Yeah. And you're a teacher too, around kids, right? It's not a good look. So when you teach kids, do you make advances on them?
Hell yeah.
So then why did you decide today I'm gonna go meet a 14-year-old for sex?
Because he sounded like he was very interested.
So that makes it okay?
I blocked
It
her.
doesn't make it okay, and I really felt very bad.
I got her
to
dumb
do it,
ass up
and
out of here.
Whatever. Just unfortunately, one doesn't think with their brain, but thinks
Thinks with what?
with their appendages.
Said that you wanted to make out and touch and play with the 14-year-old? That's what
You wanted to
do?
make out and play and touch. Get in the shower. Lord.
14-year-old?
Lord.
Stupid.
And then, like, what do you guys talk about the shower?
Ain't Palm Beach.
What do you guys talk about taking
Ain't that where Trump and them lived and got in trouble?
Wait until I get here and I'll shower together with you.
I'll shower with a
This is wrong,
14-year-old
and you were
kid.
worried about it,
Yeah.
but you still couldn't control your urges.
I gave in.
So, with you being a rabbi, a teacher, an instructor to young children, how can you tell me that you're not a threat? If you're willing to meet a 14-year-old for sex, you drove all the way down here.
Yeah, that was very stupid to do.
Very stupid, right?
Yeah.
A rabbi. Excuse me.
Take his ass to
How's it going?
jail.
Leave that cash?
Yeah.
Enemy. That enemy would never be.
Take his ass to jail. Palm Beach. Palm Beach. Okay, let me get over here because it was some other stuff before we go. Just nasty. He got that nasty man's disease. You like playing with kids. 14, talking about get in the shower with a kid. Where they do that at? Where they do that at, people? What in the world is going on? Kids just ain't safe. Hold on. I'm trying to get to Epstein 1 about Trump is coming true. Hold on. Let me go to some stuff that was coming out today. Yes, sir. Hold on, bear with me. And I gotta watch Netflix Family One. He gave the orders. Is this one it? Hold on. Oh.
Come on.
They're relying on us. We're relying on you. Please donate now.
Oh, it's the commercials. Hold on.
There has never been a more important time to be talking about Donald Trump's cover-up of his relationship and crimes alongside Jeffrey Epstein than right now. Donald Trump thinks just because he pretended to support the release of the Epstein files, just because he signed a bill into law, we will all believe that he has been supportive of transparency this entire time, but that is not the case. Donald Trump is just trying to disguise his cover-up in a different way, but he is unable to, both in our government and outside of it, where today we saw the release of court documents alleging new Trump-Epstein child crimes that are incredibly disturbing and carry serious consequences. We are going to get into this lawsuit, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we are doing. Now, before we get into these court documents and what they are alleging about the trafficking ring that Donald Trump was allegedly running, I want to start with what Kash Patel said to Adam Schiff when pressed about Epstein's trafficking ring, and Patel saying that there was no one else involved, which is being disproved by new evidence today.
Follow up on Senator Kennedy's question, because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here, you've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself. There's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question, Senator Kennedy's question.
The information that 3 administrations have had access to have made determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible.
His ass is way in trouble.
Investigate any others. I'm specifically stating
whether it's your testimony today.
Well, you just read it, and I said it 10 minutes ago, so let the record reflect my testimony.
I just want to make sure there's no misunderstanding, because there are victims.
Just like a misunderstanding about that plane.
Otherwise.
That you jetted with your girlfriend.
And you're telling the American people today that the Epstein list is a single name and it's Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we're to believe?
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying.
I ain't even say nothing to him. I just got his ass
out. When Todd Blanche went to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, she said, but did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet.
Nope. I know that one came from the Mo 3 sector. It sounds like somebody I'm familiar with.
Him if
Stupid
he was a
shit.
creeper because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find out. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that.
Nope.
And the next question, Todd Blanche, the president's former
I hate a bomb.
asked, is not who in the cabinet, who are you referring to? His question is, so when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage? So let me ask you, who are those cabinet members that Ghislaine Maxwell was referring to that that were part of this cast of characters associated with Mr. Epstein? Who are they?
The Deputy Attorney General took the aggressive step that no one else did.
Oh, he's so stupid. Oh my
For
God.
2 days, and we released the entirety of that transcript. I do not have that transcript in front of me. You're picking it piecemeal. The American public can read the entirety of that.
So Kash Patel, someone
plane,
who
the
might
plane.
have contributed more Epstein conspiracy theories than anyone
Yeah,
else in this
the plane, the
of course,
plane.
right up until the moment when they could
The little
absolutely
midget.
release information about Jeffrey Epstein that would be damaging to Donald Trump. Kash Patel, who has said we need to get all the documents out, that this is the biggest scandal
That's
in
why.
history.
That's why
Again,
that stuff coming
up
out. That's why we
until
got a
the moment it was
picture
going
of
to hurt
Bill on
Donald
his
Trump.
knees,
Now
slobbing
saying,
on the
and
knob
this is
of
incredibly
Bubba.
important, there was no one else involved. And why is Kash Patel trying to make that case to us? Why does he want us to believe that there was no one else involved? Because while Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump can stall information coming out of the DOJ, they can stall information coming out of the FBI, what they cannot stall, what they cannot stand in the way of, is subpoenas going out to other individuals who are involved in this trafficking
That's
ring.
right.
That is why Kash Patel wants to say there is no one else involved. You do not need to look into this. Please be distracted. Turn your attention somewhere else. There is no one else.
Please don't look over here no more.
Donald Trump. That is what he is saying. It is a farce. It is a beyond inconceivable lie that he is telling. It is why Adam Schiff gave so much pushback, and it is why today we are learning about just how expansive this trafficking ring is. A new lawsuit alleging some serious crimes against Donald Trump that I want to get into right here. Trump slapped with massive lawsuit alleging Epstein identical trafficking operation. Donald Trump has been slapped with a $310 million lawsuit alleging the president engaged in a trafficking venture that was identical in every material respect to the sex trafficking operation allegedly spearheaded by
Do y'all remember? Now FZ, we're not Kash Patel friendly over here. Are you wanting your exit? The wizard. The wizard getting exposed. Y'all remember when I told y'all, see now you done made me forget, that Epstein said that it was Trump who introduced him to the trafficking. He was already sick. Yes. But and he was already doing his thing. Yeah, but as far as trafficking goes, he was introduced to the trafficking world by Donald Trump. Well, because you knew over here, Omar Freeman. If you was a regular tea sipper, we done seen that. We done already beat that. And yeah, in one of Epstein's depositions. Yeah, it's in the emails. Trump introduced him to the trafficking part of the what is it called? Organized crime. Let's go.
Material respect to the sex trafficking operation allegedly spearheaded by Jeffrey Epstein. Filed on November 24th in Palm Beach County, the lawsuit names Trump in both his individual and official capacity as president, alongside Tesla founder and Trump ally Elon Musk and Microsoft founder Bill Gates, both of whom have spent time inside Epstein's home, according to reports, and in most cases his own admission. The plaintiffs
because he was doing models. He was doing models.
Accused Trump and others of operating an 8-year
but he wasn't trafficking
and exploitation venture that began in 2018 that has continued and escalated under the current Trump administration, according to an uncertified that began in 2018 that has continued.
And remember, Trump and his family, the Trumps have always kind of, well, not always, his grandpapa had the brothel back in the gold rush eras. That's how the hotel industry started, was through by way of a brothel.
escalated under the current Trump administration, according to an uncertified copy of the lawsuit published and reported on Tuesday by the hyper-local news outlet Boca News Now. Specifically, the plaintiffs accused Trump of grooming the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit, an unnamed minor on whose behalf the lawsuit was filed, starting in 1998, the exact year the plaintiff was born. They accused Trump of using Gates's foundation as the primary cover and silencing mechanism to continue the operation, as well as facilitating coordinated sexual assaults. The plaintiffs also allege that the minor plaintiff's infant daughter was taken for her as punishment for filing lawsuits, which they argue was identical to Epstein's use of custody threats against mothers who sued. Additionally, the plaintiff accused Trump and the others named defendants of having attempted to murder the plaintiff no fewer than on 5 separate occasions between 2023 and November of this year, including by way of poisoning, vehicular assaults, and orchestrated physical attacks designed to appear accidental. Trump is not facing any active criminal charges and has
It's a baby up in here somewhere.
wrongdoing as it relates to Epstein, who died in 2019 awaiting trial on trafficking charges. The plaintiffs in the case are seeking at least $310 million in damages, more than $134 million in attorney's fees, and injunctive relief that would include the immediate return of full legal and physical custody of the lead plaintiff's daughter. They also asked the court that the trial be expedited so that the trial by jury is held by December 20th. I find this incredibly important, considering that one of the under-discussed stories in the Epstein files was a lawsuit that was going to be brought forward against both Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein by a minor who had allegedly been assaulted by both men. This has not been covered because it did not go forward. It did not continue. Of course, we know there were lots of threats used by these two men. But this is just incredibly important to continue to talk about, especially, again, as Donald Trump is focused on silencing any person with connection to him or to Epstein. And the most obvious example is Ghislaine Maxwell, whose story, who's happily spent time in prison, is still not covered nearly enough. Jamie Raskin was calling out right here.
Congressman Raskin, even before Todd Blanche's tweet today, you were trying to get Todd Blanche to actually deliver testimony to your committee. It seems that tweet, with him willing to identify for you what isn't in the Epstein files, is at least the beginning of possibly valuable testimony.
Gaza's population is on the brink of famine.
Well, that's right. All these emails, of course, completely debunk and discredit what Ghislaine Maxwell told Todd Blanche when he went over and engaged in that sweetheart interview with her. Now his defense to this, we didn't have all of the emails from the Epstein estate. First of all, I find that almost impossible to believe. If you look at the index of what was seized by the FBI, it includes 40 computers from Jeffrey Epstein, 26 storage drives, for a total of just, I think it's more than 300 gigabytes of material. So the idea that his emails weren't in there is ridiculous. And of course, they probably didn't look. If they were in there, they never looked for them, because the very first thing they did when they took over the Department of Justice was they summoned all of the prosecutors' materials that had been assembled over the years, and they declared the case over. They shut it down before they looked at anything. But let's assume that he knew what he was talking about and he was telling the truth, that they were not in there. Obviously, the thing to do now is to say, okay, we're going to have a second round of interviews with the witness here, with Ghislaine Maxwell, now that we have all of these emails that completely debunk and undermine what it was she was saying. But they're not going to make any movement in that direction, of course, because they just want the whole thing to go away. And all of it invites the question, in what capacity has he been acting? Is it as Donald Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer, or is it as the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, who's interested in protecting victims and future victims from a billion-dollar child sex predator ring that operates or operated or has operated all over the world? And so, maybe he was operating as Donald Trump's emissary to determine, one, that she would say nothing untoward about Donald Trump, and two, to see whether she was going to be cooperative enough to actually merit a pardon from Donald Trump. So he's acting kind of like a pardon attorney. Well, he obviously will do anything that Donald Trump tells him to do. I think what it is that Congress needs to do at this point is to say that we completely oppose a pardon for this convicted child sex offender who continues to lie about both Jeffrey Epstein and also about Donald Trump.
Ghislaine Maxwell is staying at what amounts to a 5-star hotel on you and I's dime. We are paying for her to get her food delivered, to stay in a room 4 times larger than any inmate, to do yoga, to have a puppy. There was a video of her on a sunny day walking around with an umbrella to shade her. Ghislaine Maxwell is living the high life in her fake prison because she has dirt on Donald Trump. And there are so many people who also have that same amount of dirt. They are being kept quiet out of fear of retribution and hopes of a pardon, but nonetheless, they need to be heard. We need to be talking about this more. We are certainly going to be on this show. If you want to
Okay, yeah, I'll be back. Well, what time is it? Probably tomorrow. I gotta go. Those two creepy as hell. Yep. Yep. Which two? Which? Yep. She eating pom-pom dog biscuits with her puppy. She has a puppy. She's catering, not catering. She's ordering DoorDash. How the hell she can afford DoorDash? Oh, we paying for her DoorDash too. Oh yeah. All right. Good night, y'all.